and welcome back. We have some divine things to be doing today, but very quickly before we move on to that, I do want to let you know that we have this brand new Ice Lord Dragon, which is coming in the new Dragonmaster Pass. So he's looking very snazzy, very icy. And we do also have the divine SETH Dragon returning to the game. So I never actually got this guy on Windows, but if you do want to get SETH, then just like with the current month, you can get him from the new Dragonmaster Pass for hitting those final milestones at 10,000 to 15,000, and then you have a chance of breeding him. So if you really want to buy the Dragonmaster Pass for another divine, good luck. I hope you can get your hands on him. But anywho, it is time for us to get into the nitty-gritty of today, because it is time to unlock KOLIADA and also get hatching a couple of other divines, because you see I've got these tickets here and these should take us all the way up to 1,200 holy talismans plus. There we go, we're at 1,226, which does mean that it is now high time for us to unlock our final divine from this divine altar in the form of KOLIADA, Bauble Boobs, 10 out of 10. I am a fan. And so, that does mean that for the Divine Altar, I'm not going to worry about Hoagie because I don't care enough. I don't need Odin because I've already got Odin. So, that is Divine Altar Dunskies for me. And the thing about KOLIADA is that KOLIADA does have the water element and metal element, which some people are looking for. You know, Poseidon also has water, but some people don't want the void as much as, say, metal. Depends on what you're looking for in a team. But now that we have another divine, time to throw that bad boy into our hatchery and wait another 4 days for them to hatch. But in the meantime, we do have Amaterasu and Poseidon to get hatching, because we popped these into the hatchery again another 4-ish days ago. And here he is, very feathery, weirdly feathery if I may say so myself. But here he is, Amaterasu's finally hatched. He does have some very big horns, which I kind of like, but Amaterasu is a divine wind and light dragon, and although light is probably the strongest area of effect, so AoE attack in the game, the thing is it's not really as useful in the dungeon because it's hard to get weak attack quests with light element. That's normally why I suggest fire, but you know, if you needed wind and you needed light for some reason on your team, maybe as like a 4th or 5th team member, I guess Amaterasu could fit. Probably won't in most teams though. Anyway, the Amaterasu Dragon illuminates the sky with its brilliance, spreading sunshine wherever it goes. It's said that the divine blesses some royal human families, but it tends to bicker with its own kin. Interesting. You ever get someone like that just always argues with their family, but they're nice to everyone else? I guess that's just Amaterasu in the flesh. But, yeah, in terms of Amaterasu and KOLIADA, in terms of who's more useful for a team overall, probably on average it would be KOLIADA, purely for the healing. But, you know, overall the main reason for getting KOLIADA and Amaterasu is, of course, so that we can have the chance of getting CHRONO APHRODITE. That's the main thing. It's like, you may have a couple of dragons that are useful out of these events, but if you can get an extra divine for free, I imagine most people probably want to take advantage of that. Although you still need both castle event dragons as well, like the epics. So, some people might be able to get both KOLIADA and Amaterasu, but then they don't finish both castle events, and then that's kind of sucky. But new divine, very cool, but that's not the only new divine for me today, because Mr. Poseidon here, and you'll probably question, like, why don't you wait until next Dragonmaster Pass? I don't care. I don't care. YOLO, I'm doing it. We do have Poseidon here, and again, Poseidon's been available a few times now, and oh my goodness, that new hatching animation. Have you seen all the new hatching animations yet? But Poseidon, yeah, he was available a long time ago. I never got him until now. But Divine, Water, and Void. And honestly, I kind of do like the Void. Oh, it's broken. Don't worry about that. I do kind of like the Void and Water. He'd be a very, very sustainable dragon. but at the same time, Void's just not quite as dungeon useful as, say, some of the... or it's not as necessary, but it can be really useful for removing shields. But I digress. Befriending the Poseidon Dragon is sure to help you turn the tide against the Vikings. Just take care not to step on its trident tail, or you might find yourself in deep water. Yeah, don't touch his trident, is basically what he's trying to, or is what they're trying to say there, the narrator. Don't touch the tail, otherwise something very, very disastrous may happen. But yeah, it looks like he's only got 2 flippers and just a tail, so he does have a very strange look to him, Poseidon, especially in his baby form. Kinda like it though. I kind of prefer the baby Poseidon to the adult Poseidon. Is it just me? May just be me. But if you are someone that has ended up adding Poseidon to their team, you can make some really fun and funky stuff happen with that void element and the healing. It's just, obviously you've always got to remember water plus earth plus AoE are like the basics. And plus fitting in the 2 divines plus an ancient. You just got to prepare your team in advance and really think about what you're going to do with it. That's if you care enough. If you don't care enough and you just don't care about the strats or doing well in the dungeon, then you do you. You do you, my friend. But that is 2 new divines, which obviously has given us quite a lot of bonus Dragonmaster Pass points. But we're not going to have that new Dragonmaster Pass with that new Ice Lord Dragon until tomorrow. And speaking of, we're also going to have new Dragon of the Month tomorrow, because it will be the 1st. So, we will be having Mr. Hermit coming. You may have seen him post on other social media. But Little Hermit here, being the legendary Void and Earth Dragon, he's not going to be very useful overall compared to the divines that we've just gotten. But he is part of the yearly collection. So, we will enjoy his presence then. So, aside from that, all that we've really got left to do in DML is try and get this Iron Lion Dragon, which, you know, we're on tier 8. Tier 8 does take a little while. And if you've ever wondered where you can find all of the tables for tier 8 or tier 7 or tier 6, it's just on the DML wiki. You know, I used to show it all the time, like every single time we had a solo event. If you just go onto the main DML wiki page, you'll see it linked there. And it does tell you exactly how much time there is between, say, doing tasks. So, for example, if that's DML Planner, not the DML Wiki. If I open up the DML Wiki, then we've got the Heart of Iron event here, and that's it. We're literally here where the event is. It tells you how many hours it takes, or how many days and hours it takes to finish a tier. So, tier 8 takes 1 day, 7 hours and 30 minutes minimum, and then it tells you what the actual refreshers are for you. So time until full pool, and if we go on the right, we need to wait 2 hours for the winning battles to be done. So every 2 hours we'll have to come back to the game, log in again, do more battles, and then we'll be done with this Iron Lion Dragon. You know, it's a shame I didn't manage to get the dinosaur boy before. He was a favourite of mine, but you know, solo events take a lot of energy to keep logging in for all the time. So that is that. So along with that, of course, we do have new events coming on Monday, which is going to be the final castle event week. So make sure you are prepared for final castle event. If you had a team or a set of dragons that didn't work out well in the first castle event, for example, maybe you've had time to try and even out their levels, because the next dragon that we have to get is, of course, Gale, and he is the epic from the upcoming castle event, so we'll have to get to level 6, get the key to get him, and plus there's going to be the remaining pieces of Isis coming as well. So all of that will be happening next week, and then hopefully we'll be getting our hands on another divine, CHRONO APHRODITE, and then at that point we should have pretty much every single dragon out of this event, except for Hoyi. Hoyi has been ignored once again, but to be honest, you know, that's what he gets for being a seething incel. Because I'm not sure if you're aware, but canonically, in DML, Hoyi is a seething incel because Changi does not want to date him. If that's your first time ever hearing that, I'm glad to have finally informed you of that very important DML lore. So, yes, I guess I am cucking myself of Hoagie once again. You know, honestly speaking, I probably could have gotten Hoagie from this current event, considering, you know, that I did all of my grinding in the first week. I probably still could get Hoagie, but I just don't want to waste any more gems at this point. You know, it's like, what could I do? Either I spend my gems now and get a random divine in the form of Hoagie that will probably come back again at some point, or I could save them for the next ancient event, or some other event, or something else that I need them for. So that's what I'm going for. Don't really want to waste. And especially if you don't want to, say, keep buying on sale clams every month, even if it's only like $2, sometimes it's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So I just make choices about what I'm willing to miss out on and what I'm willing to, you know, put the effort into gemming dungeons to actually get. But overall, I probably spent about 600 gems on dungeon for this entire event. I did spend a few gems on the solo event, just like skipping the last sort of resets worth, or like little sections of them if it was worthwhile. But I haven't really spent much, to be honest. But 600 gems-ish on the Divine event itself just shows you that even without a ridiculous amount of gems saved up, you can still get all of the dragons that you want out of the event. And again, I didn't buy altar. I don't buy altars anymore. I don't buy dragonmaster passes anymore, anything like that, just because I don't really have a need. So you don't need to spend ridiculous amounts of gems in this game if you're just logging in and doing things properly, and especially if you have a decent dungeon team, one that can grind like 2,000 stepping stones in that fire week like I have, you'll probably be more than fine. So I am on day like 8 or 9 of recovery, by the way, so my voice is deciding to give up on me, so I'll be leaving you in a moment. But just in terms of all of the divines, I hope that you did manage to get at least some decent divines to fit into your team. Because most important thing when you're putting it together, again, you need all of the elements that are important to a team. But it also depends on what dragons are actually coming up. Like, from next Dragonmaster Pass, if we are getting Seth, which we are, Seth isn't very useful anymore, especially, you know, he's divine, so you'll still get a bless, but I would not recommend that you use Seth on a team. Like, it's the opposite of what's good at the moment. Plant and Shadow, and throwing that on a divine, really not a good idea. So, kind of sucks for Seth, because Seth used to be one of the biggest boys in town. And now look at how the tables have turned because of sigils. What a depressing turn of events for poor old Seth, right? But for now, like I said, I'm going to leave you. So, KOLIADA obtained. This Iron Lion Dragon to be obtained. And leaderboard, I'm probably not going to go for this stinky apple. I don't care enough. But do be aware that we've got Castle event coming up soon. New Dragon of the Month coming tomorrow. So, normal Monday things. I believe Cinnamon's coming next week as well. So we got a few things to look forward to. But in terms of Divine event, one more week really to go after this week's done. And then we will be done skis. But for now, thank you for joining me. And until next time, I do hope to see you then.